There we go.
Okay, so here I am back in the game, and as it turns out, I have to go over some stuff. The game has been running for a bit. I have some maintenance to do.
Easily. I just don't know if they'll be able to get on top. Yeah, I can see you on now.
That's cool. I can hear you too. We're both streaming. Gish is over
Oh, I
there
think I
streaming.
know where you are. Alright.
Yeah, yeah, I'm in rail yard.
And of course, there's the
What the hell is that
piano
doing in number
vinyl again.
one? Okay,
But yeah,
okay. So there's some uranium. What in the world is that doing in the compressor? I wonder. Uh, balls. If I remember right.
elevator.
Okay. Super slow now. If I remember right, this is where that goes. I was setting up an automation for some industrial craft stuff over here. This is for everybody not Gish.
Floors.
And
Some floors.
the idea behind this was simple. I'm just trying to have this thing automatically take out from the. It's supposed to automatically take out bad rods from here and put in good ones, fresh whole, just like it just did, and keep this thing operating hopefully at more than slow proficiencies because this right here is crap. But it's supposed to. There it goes. Put in the regulars. I had a couple of quads. I was experimenting with some more power because this entire area actually utilizes more than I have for power wise. But as you can kind of see, everything is sort of set up to do things, and it doesn't work right now because I've not been doing anything with it for a while. So I kind of left this place alone for quite a while here, and everything got dead power wise, which is where the other problem lies. I'm sure that I have the same sort of issue with this one here. It most likely is completely dead. These are wind up generators basically, and they're kind of an emergency power supply for this area. If I need something desperate kind of stuff, I can run some quick power over here to try and keep things going. Theoretically, I'm supposed to have something over here. This is stating that temperature is only 1%. Not nothing over that. So we're doing good so far. I need to get rid of these quads. I'm not going to run out of fucking reactors anytime soon. That's good news. Okay. So what's supposed to be going on is it's kind of supposed to be automatically just grabbing everything and making what it's supposed to be making. I will reseal all of this up later. Lead. Okay. Holy cap. Yeah, I'm making some other kinds of stuff too. The uranium rods here.
Goodness.
Pretty much everything I'm trying to make is right about here. It's supposed to just dump everything here and shift it all around, go to where it needs to kind of go.
Tiles. I just don't like carpet.
Hey, carpet doesn't look bad.
I'm a wood floor guy. However, the
So, I'm trying to remember exactly
steel
what's.
carpet.
Oh, that's right. This thing is supposed to do kind of everything here. Um, the big problem is that this thing generates a shitload of kind of a need for a lot of
Yeah,
power,
it doesn't
basically.
have any color options. So interesting.
And I was trying to make a bunch of quad cores to kind of up the ante on some of this. That's actually one of the reasons why this design of the reactor actually changed a bit. It used to be a bit more efficient than it is now. Yeah, it's kind of cool. Um, but yeah, this is just one of my many projects. Gish here helped out with this particular one. We he built this whole facility here, including the golem. He made it so that the golem can't get outside. So if any bad guys ended up showing up inside, he's able to kill them with no problems. I made the road. That's this giant thing here, and that's actually one of my first quarries way over there. Way over there. This road actually is huge. What? Anyway, this road is just massive. It goes. This is all the road that I created here along the horizontal and this particular section here. Um, each one of these sections is like just freaking massive. Uh, but a friend of mine created this little road that goes to my secret lab that wasn't ever supposed to have a road to it. I'm looking at you, Zoplot. Anyway, and it goes all the way over to this little desert town over here, crosses several more towns as it goes by. It's just absolutely insanely massive. Really, actually, kind of a cool little um, road. But all these points that you see are also part of a modded Minecraft deal. It's fun to have. It's fun to have some mods. Okay. And as you can see, I'm flying. So we're definitely later in game. We have some pretty badass options available to us. There's the hole I'm looking for.
Oh crap.
I think I just crashed.
I think I like that. And I think I like it separate like that. What is it doing?
But yeah, this was an area that was just trying to make um, automatic
A weird strip floor here without anything.
uranium. I mean, just to try and keep it constantly generating something.
I think
But this thing right here is currently. Oh man, I've almost got a bucket of it.
needs to get rid of
The trouble is that I basically need.
partial wall,
I kind of need this right here shut off.
which was originally there just to help segregate the flooring anyway.
I kind of need this whole thing here just shut down. Because quite frankly, this thing is just draining too much of the central power uh, to operate properly. One of the things that I did notice about this particular setup, I ended up making quite a number of these Stirling heat generators uh, to actually start working on some stuff. And
Bring this in that way.
actually, let's put this. Let's put some more of these in here
This horrible
because I
makeout
can actually put in
is
a few
way
more
too
of
busy.
these.
It's pretty as fuck, but I think it's way too busy.
That happens sometimes. Coolant cell. I don't need the uranium. Okay. But like I said, you can kind of tell we're a little ways in the ways. We have made our progress so far. And
I think I just have to do this.
we're kind of cruising right along now. Okay. The trick about this is to keep everything as even as possible. Trying to keep everything.
That works.
Oh shit. I have a couple of quads here that I've built. That'll make my life a little on the easier side.
Should put it back to where
Because right now I've got to get some better power outputs on some of these things, and the big ones are
they are. So we kind of don't want to.
right here on these
Kind of
corners.
don't want an entry into the house right next to all the beehives.
But I got to do so without increasing the temperature too much. You got to try and keep a balance. Industrial Craft 2 is a pain in the ass because there is an awful lot going on with it.
This was a nice ground with these flagstones in it that has mud.
You could probably ask Gish if you ever care about it. It's super hard to get anything going with Industrial Craft because it's just so complex. So pain in the ass, but part of the reason that The other thing is I got to watch these exchangers. These exchangers can end up deteriorating over time if I don't space out the quads enough. If I'm not careful enough with some stuff and whatever, I can actually end up running the core temperature way too high, kind of shit. So so right now we're at 2% of the core temperature. Things are balancing out okay. Nothing seems to be completely devastating it. So we'll hold for now to see what happens. I can actually go ahead and bring this back online.
I think it's because these pieces are designed as separate rooms. With
But the big one is to try and make sure that that thing is producing UU matter. The UU matter is used for damn near everything. I'm going to bring up some music in a bit here when I start to actually get into the general building, when I'm sure that this reactor isn't going to explode. I do have a cutoff on it. If this thing gets too hot, it'll auto cut it off. So this whole thing has got reactor controls and everything else to make everything smooth. Yeah, and there's my badass armor. But if you haven't noticed, I've actually got dragon wings. Whoopsie.
However, I think I am going to eventually take this middle rail out.
Dragon wings.
Put a little bit of stairs there.
Dragon wings. Anyway.
Seems like a good idea.
Got a metric ton of stuff. This is actually the only way I've seen so far to kind of auto craft automatically something. It is a very interesting. It's slow as hell, but it works. And oddly enough, that's I guess all that matters. Uh-oh. Oh, there we go. I guess if it works, go with it. Oh, and by the way, I forgot to mention before I started my stream, Dr. Pepper. It's what fuels gamers. But the other thing was trying to get this thing to auto-create MOX fuel. The hope is to try and find a way to make industrial craft almost completely self-sustaining. Now, it's never going to be completely self-sustaining. That's the curse of it. That's what I was talking about a lot of these mod pack developers. They made some of these things just not. And it's so unfun to have these things be so over-the-top complicated. That they can't reproduce over and over again, so you end up building a ton of time and energy into making these reactors, and then eventually, no matter what you do, they're going to fall apart due to all kinds of strange things. Okay.
Which you surely don't want to do.
Okay, so that one's good. As I said before, we just got to watch our core temperature. The big one is we got to watch out for these internal components. This thing's auto set to import anything that comes into them with a uranium rod. Anything that's empty, it pulls out the spent out uranium and throws in another one. So if I burn up a few of these chips before I get into it, it can get trying, it can get challenging. So I started swapping out an awful lot of the cooling rods for everything else to try and keep everything going. But I definitely need one thing to swap out the quads. That's going to be a little bit more challenging some ways, but we'll figure it out. Which is your crafting pipe. But I'll figure that part out later. For now, I'm going to put my normal armor back on because it's got all kinds of benefits to sight, dark sight, and speed movement. There we go. Now I can fly faster and I can see further and all kinds of crazy good stuff. The big one I'm going to have to remember is that for now at least I'll have to replace the quads on the uranium when it comes up. It's just one of those things. And this isn't depleted yet, so nobody cares. What's funny about this is I can actually survive picking up one of those things and putting it somewhere else real quick, but it gets frustratingly annoying. It's mostly just annoying to do it. So I just don't bother with it. Now, at one point, for some reason, these used to transmit power, of both kinds, to these various devices here, but I don't know if they still do. I can't tell anymore if they do or not. So we're here. We need to actually go back to the main reactor now. I just want to make sure that this place isn't going to blow up in my absence, because I'm going to have to make a flight. So you guys are actually going to get a chance to see, and by you guys, I mean whoever's not watching.
Great the things that you have to do. Great.
I should just walk up the hole. Um, but you guys are actually going to get a chance to see.
Hey, but that's
I guess there is somebody actually watching.
it is funny.
Maybe
Maybe
it's just me.
all the weird
But
things that you have to do.
some of the really cool stuff. Gish, he's actually streaming currently
Wanted to.
Mission Mansion building and watching this at the same time. So kudos to you. I don't even know if you can hear, but who cares? Um, but he actually built the facility we're about to come up to. Now you can kind of see all this road is all me. I built this whole thing. It's not even finished yet. Some of the road, it's designed to be this all the way through. This design, this pattern. But I do have this train track. It was designed to work for a whole bunch of stuff. That book there is from Mistcraft. This is what we call Pagoda. He built this whole facility, and it's actually really impressive,
Really get out of my way.
including the Twilight portal there, the Underworld portal there. He built none of the machinery. He built this though. This is his thing. This is his Tinker's construct. He loves this thing. He built all of these, and I kind of dug in behind some of this stuff to build some secondary functional things. I enjoy the machinery of things, so I built all these steam engines and
Right.
just all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh, well, it's a good thing I'm fireproof. That is so weird. I see it as breaking half of it at a time now. Okay, anyway. Um, but
Like that.
basically, I've got backup batteries and batteries to power things and run things, and then it transmits some to somewhere else. Steam engines behind this wall. This is Pagoda. It is one of the first outposts that we made. It's got some of the more primitive machinery that we've got for some of the stuff. It's just mostly for quick stuff. And you can see here another clockwork engine just designed to kind of keep things charged wherever possible.
Loaded wrong.
He also put some indoor sugar cane. For the most part, nothing we had was automated to grab whatever we needed. If we wanted food, I put the cotton down. But if we wanted food, we got the potatoes and we got the bread. This was Generation One stuff here, and this was actually before I actually learned to put the road. I mean, I usually try to put the road up high so that no bad guys can get on it easily. But this one, you can see where I kind of built it up wasn't high enough by the time we reached the hill that was built on. But this is the original road leading to what I call Riven. This is my first base. Now, it has gotten a facelift since then. Uh, the only thing that's factory, the only thing that's original. Oh, and in order to, this is actually the funniest part. In order to build this road through here, as I started coming too close to the ground, I went ahead and lit the forest on fire. That's why it's all spread around from here. I'm actually cutting straight through the forest by just lighting it on fire. Because I start trying to go through it, but then that became a pain too quick. So I immediately had to change that out, and I used this lava as a way to protect myself when going through that door. Each one of these pillars here has a door in most cases, access to the ground. So you can kind of see what I meant by I built it above. I built it with some land to grow on so that they couldn't get up here easily. But the land rose too quickly and therefore blam. Oh snap, it's still running. Yes! Okay, so this one's still generating some power. That's very good news because this is the most worrisome one. Sweet. Awesome sauce. Okay, it's still producing just fine. In case you guys are curious, I'm getting damaged from the sludge producer over there. It is what is killing me, or trying to anyway. All it'll do is drain my shields, but
So hard to get these to line up just right for movement with the controller. Just don't have.
but you can kind of tell what's going on here. The sludge producer produces a bunch of stuff like dirt and sand, and all kinds of stuff. And what it'll do is anything that I want moved over, it imports it to this chest, which then brings it into the system over here. Anything that I don't want, uh, that can be used for burnable materials or whatever, goes into here and gets tossed either in here or directly into the furnace. These things here, I produce way too many sakura plants for me to care. So, that's that. And I've been using in this area. Okay, so the facelift that this got was all this machinery out here. The original building is the one made of dirt, and it goes down to a giant facility. There is also my original farm. I built this farm here, and he put in some pumpkins and a few other things. But this is just all me. I built that there, and then eventually, when I got some new mod packs and I got some discovery, I had long since moved away from this location, and this location was now completely irrelevant. The reason why it's called Riven is because this is where all of the mist books were made. I mean, every one of the mist books that we have ever made, uh, that I have ever made, because I'm not the only one that's made them, was made right on this desk. And I've got just a ton of pages from looking through other worlds, and this is where I literally create that. Now, anybody that's never played modded Minecraft, you don't know. That's perfectly cool. Modded Minecraft allows you to create a variety of other things. Now we're going to go to oilocity. The intention behind this was to create a place that had nothing but oil, because oil is a limited resource. It is something that you can find in the world just fine, but it's a little on the challenging side, because once you mine an area out, you got to move on, and all of the oil that we've had has been everywhere. Now you can kind of tell by what's going on here. Ah, damn it! This world is actually incredibly dangerous. What's funny about this is that this is actually transmitting power. This is actually a lightning rod here. That's exactly what that's, a lightning rod. And every time it gets struck by lightning, there's power inside this thing here. And you can kind of see just how much power is already stored. And with that, we just end up transmitting that power back home. But this is one of the most simple refineries that I've got. It's designed to just pull it up and then refine it into gasoline. And then from there, it goes into soulless power. Okay, that's not what I expected. But anyway, um, I don't know. Go ahead and do that real quick, I guess. Um, Thinking it doesn't matter. I'm still going to have power either way. The Ender